times.
If you want your fucking runaways, just go back to Bon Jovi where that shit belongs.
Excuse me. I do have one, I guess, bit of wisdom. What do you call it when you get your Red Wings from a Hispanic girl?
What do you get?
Frito pie.
Alright, we're done with this shit.
Hey, old friend.
Let's get into some interesting facts about this movie, guys.
No, wait. Let her know what she's working with. That's the way to do it in a loving way.
Hey guys, welcome back to Androidvision.
Don't ever trust a grown man with a puppy in the park.
What'll they do next?
Music to the ears of the hungry. The sizzle of a mouth-watering hamburger. Fresh, lean beef, done to a golden brown. Couched in a soft bun. And garnished to the ears of the hungry. The sizzle of a mouth-watering hamburger.
Hey guys, welcome to Androidvision, brought to you by the Intestinal Fortitude. Hey guys, thank you for tuning into Androidvision, Season 6, Episode 7.
Episode 7.
July, we're fucking deep into the summer, sweating our balls off. I mean, you don't have...
My chesticles.
Your testicles.
My testicles are
Yes.
sweaty.
I couldn't imagine what was worse, the sweat on your balls or the sweat underneath the breast. I feel like sweat underneath the breast is got to be pretty rough for a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, get used to it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
goddamn, I couldn't imagine. I mean, yeah.
You're walking around
Yeah.
shaking your pants out looks a little strange.
Yeah, it's a little... So, thanks for tuning in, guys. You're back.
I am back. I'm here.
Appreciate you coming.
Absolutely.
And speaking of coming
Yes.
coming again, camera guy, you said you were partaking in something, a little experiment.
I took something. I didn't know what it was, but
Where did you get it, and how did you get it?
I got it from a buddy. And some sperm volumizer pills, the Ron Jeremy brand.
Nice.
And
They work.
do they? So it just makes you go.
Oh.
You're having fun with it. Shooting the ceiling, shooting the walls.
Shooting the ceiling fan.
Really? Is it the ceiling fan your grandma repainted?
But yeah, my great-great-grandma.
She passed away. God
And he
bless
has
her.
repainted over and over again.
So you're adding on to the paint job that your great grandma already did on
He's
the
shellacking it.
Yeah.
Pollinating the flowers that she painted on.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Speaking of which, guys, we're going to be watching Moody Institute's of Science educational film, The Wonder of Reproduction. It's a 1956 film, right?
How appropriate.
Yes, how appropriate to our conversation. Reproduction. That's right, guys. The birds and the bees, and what else? The flowers, the trees, the whole thing goes. So, yeah. So, and thank
on
you
your knees.
for your dirty knees. Jack?
Down on your knees.
Oh, down on your same thing. Down on your knees,
Yeah.
and then you get dirty
Birds,
knees.
bees, dirty
Yes,
knees.
all that fun stuff. So, I hope those pills work for you in the future.
Oh yeah.
Are you trying to have kids? What's the deal? What's going on?
I don't know. I just like shooting ropes.
Solo target practice.
There you have it, man. All right, guys, enjoy the wonders of reproduction. We'll be right back.
That's right, Mrs. Spencer. It'll be ready any time after noon tomorrow. Fine. Thank you very much. I'll look for you then. Goodbye. Well, hi, gang. What can I do for you?
Yeah.
Now, let me see. Your dog is sick?
No.
You want me to umpire a ball game?
No.
Oh, I know. You want to buy out my fix-it shop and become millionaires.
No.
No. Well, I give up then.
We want to see your new fish. Come on, Uncle Bob. Show them to us, huh?
So that's it, huh? My news certainly travels fast, doesn't it? Who told you I had some new ones?
Tommy and Jimmy Doherty told me. A couple of kids were talking about it at recess yesterday.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you kids are eager to learn about nature and the wonder world we live in. And honest interest and careful observation are two requirements for becoming good scientists. Come on in my lab. I'd love to show you my new fish. Well, there they are.
Aren't they pretty?
Yes, they are.
Must be lots of fun having an aquarium and taking care of all these little fish.
Well, it is fun. We can learn many wonderful lessons by carefully observing the way fish live and behave.
Man, oh man, would you look at this one? She sure is beautiful. What kind of fish is she, Uncle Bob?
Well, this she happens to be a he. This is the male Betta splendens. And he is one of the most beautiful fish you'll probably ever see. Now, if you look closely, you'll see just about every color in the rainbow sparkling in his sleek body and flowing fins as he swims around in there. But not only does he possess great beauty, he also has a ferocious temper. This little creature is known as the Siamese fighting fish, because ounce for ounce, he's one of the best and toughest fighters in the world, a real champion scrapper among fish. And strange as it may seem, in the family of Betta splendens, it's the father who cares for the babies and raises the family.
The father? What does the mother fish do?
Well, she performs her sole duty of laying the eggs. You see, the female Betta is much smaller and not nearly as picturesque as the male. And Mr. Betta does not have very much respect for her either. He would just as soon fight with her as he would with another male fish. Now, the Betta is what is known as a surface breeder. That is, unlike most other fish, he cannot get enough oxygen from the water, so every few minutes he must rise to the surface and breathe oxygen from the air. But not only does he use air for breathing, he also does something very special with it. When he has decided it's time to raise a family, the male Betta will start to build a nest for his expected offspring. And he builds it with some of the air he takes in.
He builds it with air. How does he do that?
He blows bubbles.
Oh, come on, Uncle Bob. You're kidding.
No, I'm not either. That's exactly what he does. First, the father Betta will go up to the surface and breathe in a mouthful of air. Then he will swim to the place that he's chosen to build his nest. Now, this is usually by a plant or on the underside of a floating leaf. Then he will blow out the bubble of air, which is coated with very special saliva from his mouth. Now, it takes many trips back and forth to supply the hundreds of little bubbles that are necessary to house his young ones. The finished nest looks like a shimmering layer of dewdrops just below the water's surface. Then, when the mansion with many rooms is complete, the Bettas are ready to mate. And what a delightful spectacle of courtship this is. Mr. Betta will dart and dash around the female, spreading out his grand fins and tail, displaying all of his colorful finery, while Mrs. Betta just swims patiently along. Finally, he will coax her up under his newly constructed apartment house, where the female will release the eggs and the male will cover them with a special fluid as they emerge. Now, this process is called fertilization and will cause the eggs to grow into new little baby Betta splendens. Then, as the eggs float toward the bottom, Father Betta will swim after them, and when he's gathered up a mouthful of eggs, the male will blow each new egg up among the bubbles in the nest. This process is repeated until there are as many as 200 to 500 eggs in the nest, all sticking tightly to the bubbles and to each other.
I think that's so wonderful and beautiful. Ah, girls are so sentimental.
Oh, your sister's right, Gary. The plan which enables life to continue and flourish across centuries of time is beautiful, if it is thought of in the manner in which the Creator intended. And every one of us should be careful to recognize the beauty and wonder of this process in all forms of life. But I didn't finish telling you about the bettas. After the father betta has fertilized all of the eggs and placed them up in the bubble nest, he swims back and forth underneath the nest, guarding the eggs very jealously. For fish eggs are just what other fish love to eat. In fact, he won't even let the mother betta come around to visit. About a day after they are laid, the eggs begin to hatch. And after 2 days, the water under the bubble nest is filled with new little baby bettas. But after 3 or 4 days, they leave the nest to search out their own food. 3 or 4 months later, they've grown up into adult male and female fish and are ready to mate and reproduce and carry on the endless chain of life of the betta splendens.
I didn't know the father fish always take care of the little ones.
Well, they don't, Gary. With some other fish, only the mother raises them. In fact, take a look at these in here. Now, they look like just common, ordinary little fish, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're called Egyptian mouth breeders. Now, why do you suppose they're called by that name, Egyptian mouth breeder?
Because they're from Egypt?
Right you are, Kathy. They come from a very famous river in Egypt.
I know, the Nile.
The Nile. Good for you, Bobby.
Hey, Uncle Bob, look at this fish over here. He looks like he has something in his mouth.
You're right, Gary, except for one thing. This he is a she, a female Egyptian mouth breeder. And those tiny things in her mouth are eggs, which will soon hatch into little baby fish. You see, that's where she gets the mouth breeder part of her name, because she raises her babies in her mouth.
What? How does she do that?
Well, let's begin at the beginning. You see, when the mouth breeders have decided that it's time to increase their family, the male will begin to prepare a place for the female to lay her eggs. He digs a little hole in the sand by violently fanning with his fins. Then he gently coaxes the mother mouth breeder over the nest where she lays a few eggs. The male quickly covers the eggs with a fluid that will make them fertile, so they will hatch into new little Egyptian mouth breeders. Now, this process is repeated until about 100 eggs have been laid and fertilized. Now, the Creator has given most wild creatures a strong instinct to protect their young, and Mother Mouth Breeder performs this task in such a remarkable way. Now, even though she has scooped up all of the eggs into her very large mouth, she will not swallow them. She keeps them in her mouth until they hatch into baby fish. The eggs are only about half the size of a BB, but 100 of them make a pretty good mouthful for this little mother fish. During the 15 days that it takes for these eggs to hatch, the mother mouth breeder will not eat any food at all, and she grows quite thin. Now just imagine the self-control she uses to keep from swallowing those tasty eggs that are in her mouth, especially when fish eggs are fish's favorite food. But she will not eat them, even though she grows thinner each day from lack of food. Now, she's not chewing the eggs. That peculiar motion of her jaws keeps fresh water circulating over the eggs, which provides oxygen and also keeps them clean. In about 12 to 14 days, the eggs will hatch into baby fish. But the babies are still kept in the mother's mouth for several more days. Then they are allowed to leave their floating nursery for short periods of time. But until they are strong and able to protect themselves, the mother will open her mouth when danger threatens, and the little ones will scurry back into the safety of their mother's mouth. But of course, each day they grow bigger until one day the faithful mother mouth breeder must let her little ones go to face life on their own.
Boy, that's terrific. You know, you learn something new every day, huh?
Well, you do if you keep your eyes and ears and mind open and really want to learn something.
I have an idea. Why don't we start an aquarium of our own? It's a good idea. Hey, yeah, let's. Wait a minute. What are we going to use for fish?
You know, kids, you don't have to have unusual fish from strange, faraway places to start an aquarium. In fact, you know, all of the common, ordinary creatures that live right here around us are very fascinating to study and observe. How they are made and the way they live and reproduce. And you know, even those little minnows you can catch down in the creek make very interesting pets.
They do? Great. Let's go. I got a minnow net we can use. We can get some little rocks and plants from the creek.
That's good because those little plants are very important to a balanced aquarium. In fact, I tell you what you kids do. After you've caught your little fish, you come on back here and let me show you how to set up your aquarium properly so your minnows will live.
Okay. Thanks, Uncle Bob. See you later.
So long, kids. Have fun.
Shit. Oh, like 7 seasons. Wow, that hurt. I don't know what that was. Shit. I don't know what that was. I don't know if I got stung by a bee or what. But there was something chasing me. Fuck. Jesus. Shit. I think that was a bee. It hurt though, because it went, like, stung me or something. Could you imagine getting stung on the eye by a bee?
Open your eyes!
Walker told me I have AIDS.
On the next episode of Mondo Creepy.
Your directorial debut, Verotica, is being universally hailed as one of the worst films ever made.
What can I say?
It's not funny.
Hey guys, thank you for sticking with us. I hope you learned something about the birds and the bees and how to have kids and not have kids. Pull out.
Yes.
Like your cameraman does, right?
Pull out, man.
Pull out and shoot the rope. Spider-Man status. And we don't have any legal standing to say Spider-Man, so we have to... Can't say Spider-Man. But yeah.
Arachnoman.
Yes, Arachnoman.
My arachnads.
This fucking guy. All right, you're gonna steal my job, and that's fine. It's okay. I think we might have you on our next episode. So
a dirty web slinger.
Yes, you are. So when it comes out, like, is it in chunks? Is it like
it's just like one big tadpole?
It's one big tadpole. Because sometimes when you're not hydrated enough, and it comes out, it congeals when it hits the air. I don't know. That can happen.
I mean, are you gonna put like a magician pulling like handkerchiefs out of the sleeve?
Yeah,
It's
ropes.
just like won't stop.
Literal ropes.
Yeah. Tapioca pudding ropes.
Or see a doctor.
Yes.
That's just all right.
All right, guys. Up next, our July film, 1988's comedy horror slasher. I wouldn't even call him a fucking classic. Doom Asylum. So it's basically it's about a sleazy attorney and his girl that ripped off some guy, and they're gonna go spend the money and live happily ever after, but not until she puts her daughter into a boarding school so that little brat will never bug him forever.
Get out of our way.
Yeah. But on the way, talking about all the things that they're going to do with all the money they just won, they get in a car accident. And she dies, and we think he dies. And fast forward to a really funny scene in an autopsy room. But I don't know why they're committing autopsies in an asylum. But hey, maybe it was the closest hospital. I'm just suspending disbelief. But the guy's like, he wakes up and he fucking ends up killing both autopsy guys and sees his lover, dead wife, whatever, laying on the table with his face is all fucked up. And fast forward 10 years, and a group of friends, including Judy's daughter.
Yes.
Her name is Kiki, and Kiki and her friends decide to have a picnic, of all places, next to this abandoned asylum, where the guy just decided to live for the last 10 years after he killed the
Kiki.
after he killed the two attorneys. And not only do they decide to have a picnic next to the asylum, there's also a 3-girl punk rock band who decide to have a little party. And it's really cool because this punk rock band, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, but this movie just takes the piss out of so much stuff, which is hilarious, because the punk rock band, they're communists, which is really funny because they poke fun at themselves at the same time. Like one of the girls who gets killed by the killer, she has a funny line. She's all, "No, don't kill me. Not over my politics. I swear to God, I voted for Ronald Reagan." It's so funny. Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's so silly. Like, it goes there. But yeah, so there's some goofy slasher fun. It's directed by Richard Friedman. He did a lot of stuff as far as TV series is concerned. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. Have you ever seen Phantom of the Mall? It's a great film, by the way. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. Check it out. Yeah, it's about a guy that lives in a mall who the mall was built over his demolished house, and he got burnt.
Oh, so very much a phantom of something else, but now he's a phantom of the mall.
Yes, he's a phantom.
For copyright purposes.
Yes, he's harassing people in the mall. That, the security guards.
What an amazing life purpose.
Yeah, Phantom of the Mall.
I often harass people in the mall.
So, Patty Mullen, she does the dual role as Judy and her daughter Kiki. And her only other role was as Elizabeth in, you guessed it, Frankenhooker.
Oh, yeah, Frankenhooker.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yes, and she was also the 1986 and 88, well, 1988, 86, so August 86 Pet of the Year, and 1988's Pet of the Month, or Pet of the Year, sorry, I got that reversed. Pet of the Month in 86, Pet of the Year in 88. Penthouse, they called him Pets.
Yes.
And she's now doing the con thing, where she's
signing autographs, making friends,
dressed up as Frankenhooker.
Ugh,
but yes, yeah, but in this one, she does a really good job of running around in a bikini and high heels throughout this whole fucking movie. It's hilarious.
In the 80s?
Yeah, and not ditching her Long Island, New York accent, which I love. It's so endearing. She's like, "What do you mean?" She does all that stuff. "What do you mean my friends are getting killed?" It's fucking great. So they're like, "No, do not ditch that fucking accent. It's great." And do you guys remember Sex in the City?
I try not to remember Sex in the City. Yeah.
So Kristen Davis, she was one of the chicks. This is her first fucking movie.
Oh.
Right. And she runs around a lot.
She's fucking?
No fucking, but running around a lot in a one-piece bathing suit. But what I found was great about this is her grooming job. Like, the suit is so high, you would think that, things would be poking up the side. Man, whatever groomer she got.
Linoleum.
Awesome. Yeah, just record scratcher. Yeah, just awesome. It's great. So, it's a funny fucking film, man. It's really out there, and we'll get into some really fun, strange facts after this. So you guys enjoy Doom Asylum.